Shalom, Yasharala. I want to start out by giving infinite honors to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakakadash, double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops, a great millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers in the Mashak, Yahweh Shai, pushing the blood true across the four winds. Shalom to you, brothers. As you can see on the stamp, I had to show that, vast majority of us grew up on. And I'm going to play the clip, and the clip is going to depict what Paul told us through the Spirit, of course, in 1 Corinthians, the chapter 7 chapter. If you loose from a woman, seek not to be bound. You don't want to have kids in this place. This is not a place to raise children. Now, we know that a lot of brothers, we were in relationships before we came to the faith. We had children, before we came into faith. And, Paul said, if you marry, you haven't sinned. But he said it's not expedient. And on this clip, I'm gonna show you why. Because this is not a place that breeds wholesome women. Okay, it's not a place that breeds godly women. So this is what the pool you gotta pick from when I'm about to play. And this is the typical so-called black woman here in America, and it's basically the typical woman in America. And when you get a full understanding of what the institution of marriage about, and then you see what goes on here in America, it's basically satanic. It's totally off, and you get an appreciation for the men of old that wrote things aforetime for our learning. It fully engulfs you, all right, and you embellish these scriptures, and you could clearly see why the Lord told us to not to marry here in America, all right, and that's why Paul's letters was hard to be understood, and people wrestled with them, because the law tells us to be fruitful and multiply. But yet, some of Paul's writings were contrary to what the law taught. And he was telling us how to navigate in captivity. That's what you got to understand. And we're going to get into that. So I'm going to play this clip, and I'm going to follow through the scriptures.
Renowned for her role as Rudy Huxtable in The Cosby Show, has navigated a complex personal journey marked by various relationships and 2 children. Notably, she had relationships with rapper Chingy, 2004, NBA player Quentin Richardson, 2005-2006, engagement called off, and entrepreneur Kasim Penn, 2007 to 2010. Pulliam then dated radio personality Big Tigger from 2012 to 2015 and faced a challenging revelation of pregnancy with another man. In 2016, Pulliam married former NFL player Ed Hartwell, leading to a tumultuous divorce in 2017 with a bitter custody battle for their daughter, Ella Grace Hartwell. In 2019, Pulliam found love with actor Brad James, culminating in an engagement 2020 and marriage 2021. The couple welcomed their son, Knight James, in April 2021, completing their family. Pulliam, now a mother of 2, resides with her husband and children on a serene farm in Atlanta. Despite life's challenges, she continues her career in acting and production. Keisha Knight Pulliam, renowned for...
Now you see that this woman dealt with 6 men before she married, so-called married, all right? You understand biblical marriage. A woman is bound to the first man that opens up her matrix, the first man that pops a cherry, okay? When you understand the scriptures, that's what marriage is. Sex consummates marriage, all right? And the customs and the culture of the Israelites, we married virgins, all right? But you can see that Rudy went through man after man after man after man after man, all right? And that's just what they showed on here. She dealt with probably quadruple that amount of men before she met that guy, all right? This just gave you 6 men before her husband. You could quadruple that number, all right? She was an actor, Hollywood actor, all right? She grew up in America, all right? America teaches women not to have discretion, and they have body counts, in a lot of cases, in a great number of cases, the number of football teams. They have football numbers, football squads. Football squad might have 40 men or more than that on the squad. That's the body count of your typical black woman here in America. But I want you to listen to these comments, all right? Listen to these comments. I left a comment. And look, it burnt me up. I left a comment and I normally don't. I say, the typical black woman get passed around like a blunt. And some food gets multiple men sloppy seconds and thirds. It's better him than me. All right? But, forget what I posted. Look at these females on the comment board. She says she is and always will be Rudy Huskell for me. I'm praying for everlasting love this time. You see what I'm saying? Such a beautiful family. Stay together. Let your love go deeper each year. I am rooting for them. Thank God she has found love of her life. Keisha has always been a beautiful queen. You see what I'm saying? This is madness. All right. Now, in the ancient world, in biblical times, she would be counted as a harlot, a whore, a slut, a piece of shit. And no man would marry her off to her son because she's spoiled, okay? But here in America, this is common. All the women are rooting for her because all of them rock out in their same lot, okay? They rock out in their same lot. They move the same way, all right? And in the kingdom, we're going to have wives that we're the only men that touched them, okay? And you can see she was just passed around like a blunt, man. Passed around like a joint. Go from one man, go to another one, just like that idiot Steve Harvey's daughter, all right? Every year, every 2 years is a different man, all right? They're just cum buckets. And this is why the Lord put the Spirit on Paul to tell us, don't deal with these women over here, all right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 26. Behold, Salakia, because of the present crisis, and I'm reading the NLT, because of the present crisis, all right? What was the present crisis going on, all right? When you read in the KJV, it say the present distress. What was going on during the time of Paul and the apostles, all right? The early church, all right? The present distress was that our people were discontinued from their heritage, and they was living according to the ways of the heathen. That was a crisis, all right? In fact, let me get a precept. This is what was going on. This was the crisis that Paul was talking about. All right. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, learn not the way of the heathen, all right? And be not dismayed at the signs of the heavens, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Our people start living according to the fashion of the heathen. All right, that was the crisis. Let me get another precept to bag that out. All right, this is the book of Proverbs 3 and 31. Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. So that was the crisis. All right, we would discontinue from our heritage. Let me get that. All right, Jeremiah chapter 17 and 4. Okay, and it's written, and thou even thyself shalt be discontinued from thy heritage. That means we would get away from our customs, our culture, our way of life that I gave thee, that the Lord gave us. And what the Lord gave us, he gave us the institute of marriage. One woman, all right, her father finds a husband, gives her, and the father of the bride and the father of the groom come together, all right, and they make that marriage, and she's with that man for the rest of her life, and only that man. All right, that's our heritage. That's our way of life. That's our legacy. We only dealt with women that we were the only men that touched them. Okay, we got away from that. All right, and we envied the oppressor and chose his ways. All right, and we started taking sluts and harlots and women that were passed around for wives. That was that present crisis that we got. The law was made void. And thou even thyself should discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. So when we serve the enemies that we knew of not, we start partaking in their customs and their culture. For you have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So when we go back here to First Corinthians, let me go back to the NLT. When Paul wrote, all right, because of the present crisis in First Corinthians 7:26, that was that crisis. That was a crisis. Our people were living as the heathen round about them. All right. And he said, and we had the mindset of the heathen round about him. So this was his advice. Because of the present crisis, I think it is best to remain as you are. He said, oh, hey, look, the way these women are, the way they moving, and they have the mindset of this heathen, it's best to look, just serve the Lord. Okay? That's what the brother was saying. Hey, look, if you're not dealing with one, don't go to get bound with them. He said, if you have a wife, do not seek to end the marriage, all right? If you was already married when you came to the ministry, stay with that woman. Do not divorce her. Do not put her away if she pleases to dwell with thee and she's respecting you. If you do not have a wife, do not seek to get married. Now, why would he tell us not to seek to get married when the law tells us to be fruitful and multiply? All right? Because of the present distress, the present crisis. The women were not the same as they were before we were exiled and discontinued from our heritage. They were disorderly like they are today. They was living according to the Grecian and Roman fashion. All right? And you was gonna have to go back and forth with them and do things that our law didn't prohibit them to do, didn't let them do. All right. The scriptures say a woman's supposed to be submissive to her husband. He has the power over her. He rules over her. But according to the present crisis, she was able to get liberty and power that she never had. So if you got yoked to her, you was going to have issues. And that's what Paul was going to say. If you have a wife, do not seek to end the marriage. If you do not have a wife, do not seek to get married. But if you do get married, it is not a sin. And if the young woman get married, it's not a sin. However, okay, moreover, those who get married at this time will have troubles, and I am trying to spare you of those problems. And the reason you was going to have troubles, all right, you was going to get used goods, all right? And then the used goods that you were going to get, they were going to be thinking like the so-called white man, all right? You're going to end up on child support. You're going to be having a woman telling you, you got a curfew, coming home at a respectful hour. A woman should never be in a position to tell a man what the fuck to do. Oh, that's not respectful. You coming in at 2 a.m. Man, you better shut the fuck up. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? All right? That's why when you look at that clip, man, this bitch has dealt with all type of men. All right? That's just what they showed you. Quadruple that number. All right? That was 7 men. All right? 7 times 4 is 28. All right? I say you can even do more than quadruple that number, man. And these chicks be having 40 and 50 bodies under their belt, man. Okay? And this is why he's told us don't get married, all right? It's better to just serve the Lord, all right? It's better to serve the Lord, have a couple concubines on your team. Don't get yoked with these women, all right? Because they deep ditches, all right? Now let's get some more precepts to bag up what I'm saying, all right? I'm going to get Proverbs, all right? And when you looked at that comment board, you seen all the women rooting for her, and that's the way of a harlot, all right? They don't even know right from wrong. They don't know that they looked at that clip and seen all the men she was dealing with, and they didn't see nothing wrong with that. That's the American way. You don't see men on the comment board saying, damn, that's a thought, all right? When you get yoked with people with that mindset, you're going to have problems when you come back to this, your true way of living. You're going to be, no, this is not supposed to be. Even when you get with the girl you with, you be like, damn, she was with multiple men before me, and that's where the Lord's grace and mercy comes in, because we were harlots, spiritual harlots too. So the Lord forgave us, he'll forgive those women. All right. But, if you can do it, it's expedient not to get yoked to these women, because this is the spirit then. This is Proverbs 30:20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. When a woman has sex with a man outside of the man that broke her virginity, all right, she's an adulterous woman. She's an adulterous affair. If a woman get her virginity broken 16, 15, here in America, they get popped at 12. All right, that first man that opens her matrix and pops her, that's her husband, according to the scriptures. That's who she's bound to for life. That's her lifetime mate. Now, the second she goes and have sex with a second person, she's an adulterous woman, okay? She eateth and wipeth her mouth and said, I have done no wrong. Now, let's see what happens when we get that in the blue letter. It gets more explicit when you look at the other translations. All right? Piece of shit, man. These women are pieces of shit, And us men spiritually, we were pieces of shit too, all right? When we hoard out these other powers, when you deal with these other philosophies, we are no different than we were no different than a harlot, a slut, a whore that was passed around. All right, now let's see what these different translations say. This is a New Living Translation, Proverbs 30:20. An adulterous woman consumes a man, all right? And that word goes into burns a man up, because the man that lays down with a woman that's married, he shall surely be put to death. That's a sin unto death. So he's consumed. Okay? Then wipes her mouth and says, what's wrong with that? You see? These women go from dude to dude, man to man, and say, ain't nothing wrong with that. And that's that present crisis that Paul was talking about. That's the present distress. That's their mindset. Okay? Let's get some more of these translations. All right? It was another one that jumped right out at you. I think it's the contemporary Christian Standard Bible. All right, bear with me, because most of them basically say the same thing. All right. Here we go. The contemporary English version. It says, an unfaithful wife says, sleeping with another man is as natural as eating. You see? And that's how these women think. You don't want to get yoked to women with these American mindsets. All right? You're gonna be bowed down to a loaf of bread. Okay? Let me get one more. It was another one that was kind of wild. All right? What's that other one? There's one more I wanted to bring out, but that might be it. This Good News translation. This is how unfaithful wife acts. She commits adultery, takes a bath, and says, "But I haven't done anything wrong." This is the way of an American woman. All right. This is their mindsets. All right. You don't want to be yoked to these women. All right. And if you are yoked to a woman, you want to have wisdom to discern if she has integrity. All right. You want to discern if she's halfway decent. She has morals, because this is the mindset of these women. This is the Book of Lamentation. All right. This is why the Lord put the Spirit on Paul to write this for our learning. This is Lamentation, chapter 5, verse 11. It's written, they ravaged the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. And see what happened when the so-called white man colonized us, and during the time of the Greeks, they call it Hellenized. You can also use the word westernized. They taught our women how to be hoes and harlots, all right? So in the ancient world, when the Babylonians came and overtook us and they had their way with our women by force, the so-called white man took it to a different level. He raped their minds and told them, look, live this way, all right? Look, follow how our women do, all right? The women was participating in orgies, the Romans and the Greeks, all right? They were having orgies. They were lesbians. Okay, now look at our women nowadays. They partaking in the ways of the heathen. Most of these broads bisexuals, and if they're not bisexual, they bi-curious, okay? You don't want to be joined to these harlots, man, all right? Takes away your strength, all right? Take away the superpowers the Lord gives us, all right? Now, if you have a decent woman and the Lord bring a decent woman to your path, by all means, you're not going off if you get yoked to them. But the vast majority of these women, I'm telling you from experience, like the elder apostles always say, they tell us from experience. It's good if you don't get yoked to them. All right, this is verse 16. The crown is falling from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned. And when they say the crown is falling from our head, it's like we fell from grace. Look how low have we fallen to where you got a man that marries a woman that he knows clearly had 6 men before him. You see, that's how far we've fallen. In the ancient world, we wouldn't dare deal with a woman that we know was touched by another man. When you took in on a wife, that woman was untouched. She was an untouched maiden. All right? She was a virgin. In fact, let's get that. Let's prove it. I'm going to get it in the blue letter. Let's go to the blue letter and prove this is marriage according to the Bible. And what we see here in America is really adultery. All right? That man that she's so-called married to, he's committing adultery with her. That's why our great king called us an adulterous generation, because he's nigga number 7. So niggas number 2 through 7 all have committed adultery technically according to the law. That's why the law say the law was against us. All right? And the first guy, he's really the husband according to the scriptures. All right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 22. That's why we needed our great king to bring forth grace to us, because even the women we've dealt with, we've had children with. We wasn't the first man to pop them. So we all have partaken in adulterous relationships, all right, before the Lord. All right, this is Deuteronomy 22 and 16. Let's start at 15. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders in the city of the gate. All right. Now, what's going on here is the woman's husband say, you know what, I should have started a little farther. All right, here we go. Deuteronomy 22 and 13. If a man taketh a wife and go into her and hate her, all right, when you take a wife, that woman, according to our customs and culture, before we would discontinue for our heritage, she had to be untouched. You had to be the first man to pop her, all right? You paid her father a dowry to get her, and the father has to deliver you a woman that has never been touched by another man, and give occasion to speak against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I have took this woman and I've came to her and I found her not a maid. That word maid goes into a virgin. All right. When you go in that word, maid is the Hebrew word na'ar. All right. And it goes into a virgin. Okay. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity into the elders of the city and the gate. All right, these tokens that we're about to go into, Rudy Huxtable would have never had those. All right, she probably lost them shits when she was 12 years old. So these tokens was a white sheet that the father of the bride would put on the bed in the bed chambers, and he would tell his daughter to go in and tell a groom to go in. And when the groom pop her chair gets popped, the blood rolls down, her hymen gets popped, the blood rolls down on the white sheet, and the father holds that token to prove that my daughter was a virgin. Okay? That's not happening here in America. All right, everybody's getting used goods. By the time you get to that woman, no matter how much your heart inclined to her, what, some dude has had her every which way but sideways. All right, you ain't did nothing to her that she hasn't done already. In fact, when she come in the bedroom with you, she's using tricks of the trade that she learned for 3 or 4 other guys before you. Okay. So she would not have no takers. And that's how far we've fallen. When they say the crown has fallen from our head, dudes in this society, all right, we have rulership mentalities because wisdom has descended upon us. But before the Lord opened our eyes and unclogged our ears, you was content with getting a woman and you wasn't worrying about her body count, I was to a certain extent before I came in the truth. I'm not going to be over righteous, but That's how far we've fallen. You got kings, all right. When they say the crown uh, of us have fallen, all right. And the scripture I brought on it in Lamentations, okay. Guys are content with dealing with women that have dealt with 40, 50 men before them. That's low. That's why in the book of Lamentations they say, how has the gold become dim? In Lamentation, the 5th chapter, they say our crown is falling. That's how low we've gotten. All right? Nobody has no tokens of a woman's virginity here. You're getting stuff like Rudy Huxtable. Women that have just been used over and over again, and you getting sloppy 50. You ain't getting no sloppy seconds, Ike. We getting sloppy 60, sloppy 70 over here. All right? And the damsel father shall say unto the elders, I have gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hate her. And lo, he's given occasion to speech against her, saying, I found our daughter not a maid, a virgin, and these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. So he can prove that she was not touched before that man, okay? And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city, that white cloth. The blood is going to be on it. It's going to be a white stained garment with blood, cloth with blood, and it's going to prove that she was an untouched maiden, okay? That's how we're going to marry in the kingdom. All right? It's going to be exclusive. She's going to be exclusively yours. No man has, as the old English say, will have known her. These women we deal with now, all right, no matter how much your heart inclined to them, they got 10, 20, 30 other guys that can say they had your woman. It's not going to be like that in the kingdom. All right? That shit is off. That shit is fucking off, man. All right? How you done had your woman, all right, that's that present crisis Paul was talking about. You got some other guy that can boast about how he had your woman. In fact, when he see you somewhere, he looking at you like you're a duck. Man, he married that bitch, man. That's fucked up, man. That's the present crisis we're in, the present distress. Son, you over there laughing at me? My son hit me over here doing the sit down. He bust out laughing when I said that. All right, that's the present distress we're in, man. It's funny, but it's sad. It really vexation of spirit, you know? We live in a life of peasants over here, man. Kings never would touch something another man has touched. They show you how these guys have made sport out of getting a man's second and thirds and fourths over here in America, and they brag about it in black culture, hip hop culture. Oh, I smashed your girl. I got your girl. I missed to take your girl. Man, you're a piece of shit. You're not royal. You're not a royal pedigree. A kingly man don't want to touch nothing somebody has had. You want something exclusive. All right? Nobody want no used goods. All right? This is Sirach, chapter 26. And I'm going to start at 15. Okay? Where am I start at? No, I start at 19. My son, keep the flower of thine age sound, and give not thy strength to strangers. That's not what I wanted. Let me see. All right, that's what I wanted. 15. Like I said, Sirach 26 and 15. A shamefaced and a faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. You see what I'm saying? When you get a woman that's not trying to show off her body parts, that a woman that has integrity, she don't want her body count through the roof, you know. You get the best of the worst here in America. You know, you have very few far in between women here like that in America. If you're gonna be yoked for a woman, that's the type of woman you want. You want a shame-faced woman. All right? I'm gonna skip down to verse 22. And a harlot shall be accounted a spittle. A harlot sleeps with multiple men. All right. We just seen Rudy Huxtable had 6 men before her husband, and we know she had 5 times, 10 times more than that. Okay, that's just what they showed. They say she would be counted a spittle, man. That's the present distress. That's what Paul said. Don't get married. You're gonna be getting used good, and it's the Lord is liking them to spit. When you spit on the ground, you know that's like less than nothing. And the Lord has likened these women in America as the spittle. And Paul say, look, don't marry them bitches. All right? It's expedient if you don't. But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. And when you understand marriage according to our customs and our culture, it'll be a woman that you've only touched. Now, just like when we come to the ministry, Romans 8:1 says there's no condemnation to those in the Mashiach Yahushua. We're going to have elect women, all right? They're going to get purified for being joined to a righteous man if they serve their man in spirit and truth, all right? In sincerity. The Lord, he doesn't condemn us, so he's not going to condemn those women with those high body counts, the few that will come and submit under his word, all right? But, like we always talk about Isaiah 4:1, man, look, until Isaiah 4:1 gets instituted, and like right now we have to go to work, we're subject to payments, we got to go to work, you know what I'm saying? We got to go to camp, you got to do your videos. Hey, it's best not to get serious with no woman over here. Isaiah 4:1, that's on going to be when we on our way out of here. And the Lord is going to bring forth women to get joined to you. Okay? And those are going to be the women, the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven. But right now, man, in this present distress, you don't want to be looking like that dude that married Rudy Huxtable. That's how we all look, even when even when the best of us get women. We can't laugh at that guy. Because that's what it is. Even the woman, they're elect ladies, they're going to have high body counts, And the Lord is going to have mercy on them, man. But it's more expedient to wait for that appointed time. This is Amos 7:17. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city. And here in America, all right, these women are nothing but harlots. So when you do get joined to a woman, she's a harlot. That's prophecy being fulfilled. Okay? Rudy is a harlot. That was a harlot you just saw. That was the epitome of a fucking harlot. And the sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword. And that's coming to pass. You see how people, these genocidal, homicidal maniacs whacking each other day in and day out in these inner cities. All right, that's coming to pass. But that's about to change 100-fold. Y'all about to see death like you never seen it before. All right. In every city, the murder rate is breaking records, but y'all ain't seen nothing yet. That's just the beginning of pains and sorrows. And the land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land. See, in a polluted land, you don't want to get none of these polluted women. You want to wait to the kingdom, all right? You got a lot of brothers have said they're not going to deal with a woman until the kingdom, man. I'm not a eunuch, but I like to get my rocks off from time to time. But yeah, I fully understand. Okay? I fully understand, man. These women are polluted. And Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. All right? And we're in captivity. And that's what Paul was doing. He was giving advice how to move in captivity. Okay? And in captivity, you don't want to be yoked to these harlots. They're trouble. They're trouble. This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1, and it reads, they say if a man put away his wife, and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not the land be greatly polluted? And the land is greatly polluted because it's nothing but adulterous affairs going on here. Like even our mothers, all right? We are bastard children because according to the scriptures, if your father is not the first one to pop your mother, all right? He could be nigga number 5, nigga number 6. That makes you a bastard, okay? You're a bastard child because we were born out of adulterous affairs, okay? We're witnesses against our parents and our grandparents' folly, That's why we needed our great king, because the law is against us. If we are bastards, we supposed to get put to death. If your father is not the first man to pop your mother, you're a bastard and you're supposed to be put to death. Okay? Straight up. That's why our great king came to give us that grace and mercy, because the law was against us. We're supposed to be dead. Shall not the land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. See, that bitch had many lovers. That bitch went from Chingy to the NFL dude to the acting dude, you know, to some other guy they didn't even want to name, you know. 7 different men. And there's more than that, okay? She had many lovers, yet return to me again, saith the Lord. And, you know, and we've dealt with many lovers. And the Lord, metaphorically, spiritually speaking, all right? When you deal with Christmas, that's another lover. Easter, another lover. Going in the voting booth, another lover. Okay? And the Lord had mercy on us. And we've committed literal adultery, cognitively, dealing with other men's women, you know? And the Lord had mercy on us. So he'll have mercy on these few women that are going to take heed. But this is for the brothers, man. It's more expedient not to get yoked to shit like that. Because if you get yoked to her, like all them other dudes, when they look at the dude that married, they laughing at him, Holmes. They laughing at that guy, man. This is Ezekiel Yakazaka Allah 16. I'm gonna start at verse 28, and it's written, "Thou hast played the whore also with the Assyrians, because thou was unsatiable." All right, and these women, they say when the thrill is gone, he's not making me happy anymore. That's what they do. All right, he ain't making me happy no more. They leave that guy and go to another guy. That's the way of America. All right, that's the way of the heathen. Our women follow what they see the heathen do. Yeah, thou hast played the harlot with them, and yet couldst not be satisfied. All right, man. A lot of these bras, man, they'll let one dude pop one day, and another dude pop a dude the day shift, and then on the night shift it's a whole another dude. These chicks be letting 3-4 men pop at one time, man. All right. Now I'm talking about not like having an orgy, but they'll be juggling 3-4 men, man. All right. You getting these women's cell phones, you'll see it. They have all manner of wickedness if you was to look at their cell phones. Their cell phones will be testimonies against them. You don't want to be yoked to these women like that. Thou hast moreover multiplied thy fornication in the land of Canaan unto Chaldea, and yet thou was not satisfied therewith. All right? And this is the spirit. This is that Babylonian spirit, not having enough. All right? Not being able to have self-control. Just an adulterous, wicked, lascivious, foul spirit. All right? You don't want to be joined to the women in that spirit. How weak is thine heart? How weak is thy mind, you dumb harlot? All right? How weak is thy mind? You going from man to man like that. You weak, okay? You're dim, all right? You're no longer royal pedigree when you move like that. Saith Yahweh Shema Shai, seeing thou do all these things, the work of an imperious, whorish woman. And most of the women you're going to see in the society move in that lot of what we just saw with Rudy Hustle. And when I went to that comment board, when you look at that comment board, all the women was bigging her up. They just like it. That's the American way. Okay? Go from man to man. When wisdom grow in your breast, you don't want to be judged to them. All right? I'm going to leave off on this one, you know. I'm going to leave off on this one. Song of Solomon, chapter 1. The Songs of Solomon, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. It's talking about wisdom, dealing with us men. All right? But you can liken that to a holy marriage, okay? Because the savor of thy good ointments, thy name is an ointment poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love thee. See? That's how it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven, man. We ain't going to have no woman that other men been dealing with. The virgins are going to love us. We're going to be more precious than fine gold. That wisdom make us more precious than fine gold. That matrimony we have with wisdom, we're going to have nothing but untouched women, and the only men that's going to be to touch those women is us. Okay? That's going to be the way of life in the earth. All right? We're going to push that vibration in the earth. Okay? You ain't going to have to get slap at second, slap at thirds. From the least to the greatest of us. Okay? Draw me, we will run after thee. The king have bought meet into his chambers, all right? The Lord has given us wisdom, and that's who we supping with, wisdom. She would not lead us or forsake us or go abandon us and eat of and wipe of her mouth and say she's done no wickedness. No, she's perfection, okay? And when we have wisdom, we learn how to make better decisions, all right? And the most wise decision is to don't be yoked with these harlots, all right? And I'm not being over righteous. You got brothers that have holy women that do right by them in this society, you know. Brothers have good testimony of their wives. So I'm not being over righteous, but I'm just saying for the most part, if you're not if you're a loose woman, foreign woman, seek not to be bound. You don't want none of them rooted hustlers. All right? We will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee. All right? You see what I'm saying? And that's when we're supposed to be loving wisdom like that. All right? When you love wisdom, then the Lord gives you everything you want, the desires of your heart. And if you're a king, you want a woman that's never been touched by another man. You don't want no sloppy seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, and sevenths. All right? I am black but comely, O you daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. All right? And in that precept, I used to say the virgins love men of honor, men of prestige, men of the Lord, okay? We're going to be fine gold. We're not going to have to get these defiled pieces of shit that's been around Jenny from the block that got 1,000,000 miles on them, man. All right? So with that, I don't want I desire this was edifying to the hearers and get infinite honors to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Rakakadash, double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers in the Mashiach Yahushua, pushing the blood true across the four winds. Kwame Yasharala Baba.